Smoke and mirrors. Dusk was beginning to settle as Gordon arrived at Barrow-in-Furness with the express. It had been a long day, but he was feeling pleased with his performance. As he stopped at the platform, he noticed a large crowd of people standing about with cameras and strange coloured scarves. "What's all this?" Gordon asked his driver. "I thought I was the last train of the day." Before his driver could explain, a shrill whistle echoed in the distance, and the crowd began cheering frantically, flashing their cameras. A streak of red raced through the station, continuing to blast its whistle as it passed. "I'll explain later," laughed Gordon's driver. Later, Gordon had made his way back to Knapford, where he found the station packed with people and engines. The unfamiliar engine from earlier sat at the platform with a rake of long red coaches. "Can someone please explain what's going on?" huffed Gordon. "Haven't you heard? We've a famous engine visiting," said Henry. "Not just any old famous engine. Another Great Western engine," smiled Oliver. "Try and keep your dome on this time, Gordon," sniggered Duck. Gordon sniffed and wheezed rudely. He then looked at the people and their scarves. "Why are they wearing those?" he asked quietly. "They are fans of a popular series of children's books. The books were later turned into films, and that engine starred in those films," explained his driver. Gordon eyed the engine suspiciously. "They don't look all that special to me." That night at the sheds, the visitor was parked in the berth between Oliver and Gordon. "Good evening," she said smugly, winking at the engines. "I believe introductions are in order. I'm—" "Alton Hall," interrupted Oliver excitedly. "Yes, Duck and I know all about you. It is really wonderful to see another Hall class again." "Actually," cut in the visitor, "Alton Hall was my old boarding name. I'm Hogwarts Castle now." "Hogwarts Castle? But you're a Hall class," inquired Henry. "Yes, well, the film people thought it would be more exciting if I were perceived to be a castle locomotive." "I don't know which is worse, pretending to be a different class or that ridiculous name of yours. Hogwarts indeed. Hogwash more like," snorted Gordon. My! I wasn't aware Sodor was home to such jealous engines," said Hogwarts Castle. "Jealous?" snapped Gordon. "I'll have you know, I pulled the royal train for Her Majesty's visit to our railway." "Well, I never heard about it. It mustn't have been all that special, I suppose," chuckled Hogwarts Castle. Beg pardon, but have you never heard of our books?" asked Duck politely. "Your books?" quizzed Hogwarts Castle. "Didn't know you had any." "We've had a book series for years," said Henry. "It's even older than your magic books." "I just can't see the appeal. Apart from your odd colours and peculiar designs, you're all just as basic as they come." Hogwarts Castle smirked as the engines scowled at her. They didn't like her attitude one bit, particularly Gordon. The next morning, Hogwarts Castle was being steamed alongside the other engines. "Ugh! Why couldn't I be steamed first? I want to start my journey home, she grumbled. The others were relieved to hear she'd be going back, but their hearts sank when they heard Hogwarts' driver explain they had to take a special train on the main line. To make matters worse, this train was a special service scheduled to run ahead of the express, which made Gordon cross. Hogwarts Castle would snicker and wheeze at Gordon as she passed him on the main line. Her fans would wait at stations and cheer as she puffed through while a grumpy Gordon slunk to his stops. One group of fans had rented an old small blue car to follow the train and take pictures. They'd stop at level crossings or roads beside the line to capture the photos. They had parked by a signal box at a level crossing. The signalman wasn't all that pleased to have them there, but said nothing as he continued his work. The fans sat in their car, eating snacks and drinking tea out of flasks. Then they heard a whistle, and all sprang out of the car quickly. They readied their cameras and ran up to the crossing, taking as many photos as they could as the special train raced by. Hogwarts smirked all the while. They were so distracted taking photos of Hogwarts Castle, they failed to notice their car's handbrake wasn't fully on. The car was now slowly rolling to the level crossing. Before anyone could stop it, the car pushed its way through the crossing gate and onto the line. The men panicked and ran to it. The signalman burst out of his box and began yelling at them to move it. A cold shiver ran through the men when they heard a whistle and the sound of an engine approaching. Gordon rounded the bend and spotted the car sitting on the track. "It's too late! Move!" cried the signalman. The men ran back off the line as Gordon clenched his eyes tightly and began braking with all his might. "Ooh!" he shouted as he struggled against his surging coaches. Thankfully, Gordon stopped. He felt the car's wing mirror nudging his buffer. Gordon and his crew were fuming, as were the passengers. The men felt ashamed and quickly moved their car off the track. Once he was given the all clear, Gordon slowly set off again. When he arrived at the next station, he found the Fat Controller and Hogwarts Castle waiting for him. "Well done, Gordon," smiled the Fat Controller. "You prevented what could have been a nasty accident with your quick thinking." "I can't help but feel particularly responsible," faltered Hogwarts Castle. "If it weren't for me, those men wouldn't have been at the level crossing." "Never mind. You're not the only famous engine with silly enthusiasts. Why, my brother, Flying Scotsman, has had many run-ins with trespassers," said Gordon. Hogwarts Castle gave a small smile. "Shame that car wasn't magic. It could have flown out of your way, and you wouldn't have had to stop." Both engines chuckled. But soon it was time for Hogwarts to leave. "Take care, Gordon. I hope our paths cross again soon," said Hogwarts kindly. "I wish you dry rails and smooth running, Hogwarts Castle," peeped Gordon. "Actually, it's Alton Hall, but just between us." She winked as she departed. Gordon couldn't help but chuckle as he watched her train depart. Although the others would remember her as the stuck-up film engine, Gordon was pleased to see that Alton Hall had a good streak within her. After all, he thought, reminded of the old days, we can all get a bit puffed up in the smoke box.